A movie that will make you think twice about ever dating a single mother with multiple kids. Four adorable little girls plot a murder on a hockey player after they mistake an act of lovemaking as an attack on their mom. First of all, before we even go any further, I feel like we really need to fix up this backstory, because this movie is really more about four sadistic little girls successfully sabotaging their mother's relationship with her boyfriend. And yes, granted, the guy is a typical Chad, but my boy really didn't deserve to go out like that. But these little girls, they are a problem. They really need some serious therapy. Like, seriously. This movie really felt more like an insult to the senses, to be honest. I really felt like a lot of the scenes really were just put in there as tropes and really didn't service much value, especially the beginning one of him murdering the other team's player, because I would have thought he would have suffered some consequences for it. But all he just got was a forced retirement. And actually, it got me a bit confused in the beginning with the parents crying and them burying the ashes. I had to sit for a second and think, are these the ashes of the opposing player? And how does this rope in into that movie? But only to find out that that scene really serves back as just serves the purpose of being a flashback. Ultimately, the guy really gets no comeuppance. He really faces no consequences, and throughout the movie, you can see he's never remorseful, even though he hasn't even dealt with his anger issues. And this really made me feel a bit conflicted, because as he was even suffering at the hands of those little crazy girls, I couldn't really feel sorry for him, because I felt like this could be ultimately what he deserves, because he hasn't really repented for his past actions. I'm not sure if this is what was intentioned when they made the movie, or if it's just me overthinking things. But I really couldn't feel super sorry for this guy, even though he died in a really painful way at the hands of some really crazy little girls. But that was really the sentiment I got from the beginning of that movie. I really felt like they really misused that scene. It really felt like there were gaps, and they left us with more questions than answers. You really had the sense of you'd like them to really delve deeper into it instead of misusing that whole scenario. Actually, when I think about it, I think the movie successfully made the main character unlikable. I don't know if that was the true intention, but there was just many other scenes going into the movie that really painted this guy more of a douche and someone you'd really not want around you than someone you'd actually want to cry for when you see them suffer. Like, just think about it. Even the suspect scene where he's at the lake with that teenage girl, and I know they painted like, oh, she liked them, but come on. Like, he also said some really suspect stuff. I had to give him a side eye, because I was like, my boy, did you really say that? Hear me out, guys. I definitely don't condone violence, especially against children. But boy, when I tell you, I really love that scene when that man turned into Leonidas and Sparta kicked that little girl off that balcony. Cause I swear, if there's any kid that deserves getting drop kicked off a balcony, it's that one. But hey, I also gotta give her props, cause she stayed alive like the Terminator, waiting for that man to crawl down to her to come and save her, only for her to finesse him with a knife to his eye. Like, oh my goodness.
Hold on, Rosie. I'm coming.
At the end of the day, there's really no salvaging this movie and recommending it at all. This is a direct to trash type of movie, guys. I'm sorry. I wouldn't recommend this movie to my worst enemy. This movie was just garbage. So basically, guys, to wrap this up, this was a bad movie with some mediocre acting and a really bad storyline. And I ultimately wasted an hour and 30 minutes of my life that I seriously can't get back. But hey, I went through it, so you don't have to. Would I recommend it? No. Rather just watch paint dry.
You've lost your mind. I'll get a shovel.